never expected to fall for someone so much younger. A stubborn, fiery alpha who called me old thing one day and looked at me like I was his whole world the next. This story didn't just melt my heart. It made me believe that even when you think you're too careful, too guarded, too adult, real love can still find you, tease you, and stubbornly refuse to let go.
I was suddenly lifted off the ground, startled for a moment, then gave Albert an annoyed look. Put me down.
I won't. What's wrong with holding someone I like?
That actually did sound reasonable, but I still felt it wasn't quite right. You're being so unsteady about this. Albert stared straight at me, pouting playfully.
Why even bother being serious?
I quickly reached out to block his mouth as it moved toward mine, unable to suppress a laugh.
Guess you're sounding more reasonable these days. No calling me an old man anymore.
Albert's face turned red, then pale, a real mix of colors. He lowered his head, voice muffled.
Let's not talk about that.
Just as we were joking around, his phone rang. Albert frowned but didn't let go. I patted his shoulder to signal him. Stop playing, go answer your call. Albert reluctantly let go of me and answered the phone. Not long after, he came back and said a friend was calling him out. I waved him off, and he hurried away. About 2 hours passed, and a message came in from an unknown number. A photo and a short note.
Clark, Albert's long-lost love has returned. Will you still stay in his life?
The message was overly dramatic and childish. But I wasn't at all offended. I even opened the photo to take a closer look. In the picture, Albert was smiling warmly at a young girl who looked very pretty. The same number sent another message.
Albert's into young. Beautiful omegas, you're older and a beta. You shouldn't waste such a great opportunity.
It was so childish it almost felt endearing. Without any concern, I put my phone down and went back to work. The sender seemed to realize how unfazed I was and began sending messages in quick succession.
Hey, Clark reading it but not replying. Your confidence must be shaken now. You're already so old, stop pretending. Albert's still young, you can't really waste his time like this. I'm just giving you advice. I'm sure you're not so out of touch that you don't get it. Are you?
Young people always take these things way too seriously. Realizing I needed to respond, or the conversation would go on endlessly, I finally opened the message box. Thank you for letting me know. Out of habit, I added a smiley face to my reply. The other person fell silent right away. But I had no idea that what I thought was a reasonable response would set off such a reaction in a young man. Vincent, the one who sent the message, nearly jumped up when he saw my reply.
Wait, what does Clark even mean by that? Is he mocking me or something?
His friend nearby leaned in. Keep it down. Don't let Albert hear. Vincent flipped his phone open. The smiley face on the screen looked kind of silly.
Look, what does this even mean? He's being so polite. And the smiley has a red tint. If he's not being sarcastic, then could he actually be interested in me?
His friend rolled his eyes, clearly annoyed. Oh, Vincent, are you okay? You've lost your mind.
Isn't Clark just the type who goes for younger guys? Could he actually be interested in me again?
Are you crazy? After replying to the message, I unusually didn't feel like working anymore. Instead, I found myself thinking about my relationship with Albert. Living with Albert was arranged, his parents were willing, and so were mine. Both families agreed quickly. settling the matter without even consulting us directly. The Ifei family's parents were relieved to finally have someone reliable who could guide and support their son. My parents were happy too. I finally had a companion. So they wouldn't worry about me being alone at home with no one noticing if something happened. Truthfully, I was glad as well. The benefits of having both families connected were significant and helped our company grow even stronger. Still, life rarely goes perfectly. Everyone else was willing, only Albert wasn't. The first time I went with my parents to visit, we happened to catch Albert in the middle of a fit of anger.
Why should I live with that guy Clark? Fine, I'm not going. Whoever wants to go can go, just not me.
That kid, he really knows how to say things that hurt. I calmed down my clearly upset parents and politely knocked on the door. The door opened, revealing Albert with visible anger still on his face. I kept my expression calm and asked politely, "Hello, is James here?"
Who are you?
"I'm Clark." The young alpha paused for a moment, instinctively letting out an exclamation. Then he stepped aside awkwardly.
P, please, come in.
"Thank you." It might have been because he was caught saying something unkind that made him feel awkward. As he stayed silent throughout the rest of the conversation between the two families. After that talk, I didn't immediately finalize things. I instead arranged a meeting with Albert first. Coffee and fruit tea were served, and Albert looked slightly impatient.
What do you need? Just say it quickly.
"Do you want to live with me?" That's one advantage of talking to a young person. You don't have to beat around the bush. Since even if you did, they might not understand anyway. Albert gave a cold huff.
Does it really matter what I want? Who even cares about my opinion?
"I do." I looked at him seriously. "That's why I'm asking you. If you truly don't want this, I'll explain everything clearly to both sets of parents." Albert finally dropped his defiant attitude and sat up straight.
Really? You won't be affected by this? Will's you?
He really is a kind-hearted kid. I smiled and stood up, ruffling his hair gently. "It's fine. I'm older than you. I should take on more responsibility." But in the end, we still ended up living together. Because Albert's parents found out from somewhere that he had strong feelings for a girl from an unremarkable background. Now they absolutely refused to let Albert continue acting on his own anymore. And that indirectly caused tension between me and Albert. On the first night of living together, Albert held his blanket tightly and glared at me from the door.
Liar, I Sholdv never trusted you.
Knowing he wouldn't believe me no matter what, I felt drained and walked into the bedroom, shutting the door casually. Oh, all right. But I still felt a bit guilty. So I opened the door again and kindly asked one more time. "Need to grab a pillow. The guest room doesn't seem to have one."
No thanks.
"Okay then. Be careful not to get a stiff neck. Good night." After that day, Albert always stared at me with a wary expression, as if he were constantly on guard against me suddenly lunging at him. I found it amusing and sometimes couldn't help teasing him a little. To be honest, I've never been in favor of harsh discipline. So in my interactions with Albert, I've always tried to stay calm, accepting, and respectful. But just as I finally managed to get Albert to talk to me properly and even smile again, he came back with a red mark on his face. My heart sank instantly. "What happened? Did someone upset you?" I reached out to touch his face, but he flinched away as if startled.
Don't touch me.
Then he went inside by himself and locked the door from the inside. Soon, a sharp ringing came from inside, followed by the sound of things being thrown onto the floor. Knowing it wasn't wise to leave him alone in his anger, I gently knocked on his door. "Albert, can I have a chance to speak with you for just a moment? I know you don't want to talk right now. If it's okay, I'll just use the key to get in. If not, could you throw something toward the door instead?" I waited a moment, but heard nothing. Then I quickly unlocked the door and stepped inside. Albert was already lying in bed when I came in, still facing away from me with no movement. I had taken a few steps toward the bed when the phone lying in the corner suddenly rang again. "Caller, old man." I answered the call, glanced at Albert, then turned and walked to the balcony.
Albert, I'm telling you straight, if you dare see that Omega again, it won't just be sending him abroad anymore. I'll make sure he can't focus on his studies at all. And you'll end up sleeping on the streets.
"Uncle James, this is Clark." There was a brief pause on the other end. Then the tone softened slightly.
Clark, where's that troublemaker Albert let him take the phone? Is he trying to avoid responsibility again?
"No, I took his phone. Uncle James, I've thought about this for a long time. I don't think I can keep teaching Albert anymore."
Why did that rascal do something wrong again? This time, I'll really teach him a lesson.
"Not at all. It's because Albert is already doing very well. I feel he doesn't need more guidance."
Good.
The voice on the other end let out a cold scoff. Clearly skeptical.
He's supposed to be so good, but still disobeys me and my wife, insisting on meeting up with someone who only seeks status. Doesn't listen at all. What kind of ugood is that?
"I mean it. You've already raised Albert into someone with loyalty and genuine passion. That's truly impressive in itself. What I can still help him with is learning how to get back up after falling down, and understanding how to stand by his own choices. I think what we can offer him most is the courage to make mistakes. What do you think?" The other side fell silent, and after a long pause, let out a sigh.
This kid has never been easy to trust since he was little. Only someone as patient as you, Clark, could still find something good to say about him. Never mind, I don't want to be involved anymore. You handle him from here.
"Yes, you can count on me. I'll take care of it." After hanging up, I went back to Albert's room, still lying with his back turned toward me. The room was dim and shadowy. Was this a safe house, or just a cage trapping a caged beast? I sat down beside Albert's bed and gently brushed my hand over his head. "You've worked hard. Are you worn out?" Albert didn't answer, quietly pressing his face deeper into the pillow. I tucked the blanket around him, speaking softly and gently. "I've kept your food warm all this time. If you get hungry, just help yourself anytime." After saying that, I got up and left the room, closing the door behind me, because I knew if I stayed any longer, Albert would be upset, angry that I'd heard his growing cries. Every child has the right to cry, especially in my eyes. It's always been this way. Lost in a tangle of scattered thoughts, I stayed in the living room far too late without going to sleep. When Albert finally came downstairs, I was still typing away at my keyboard. I looked up 2:30 in the morning. I shut down the computer, got up, and went to the kitchen to quickly reheat the meal. By the time I came out, Albert was already sitting quietly at the dining table. I set the food down in front of him, but he didn't reach for his chopsticks right away.
Are you not going to scold me for eating so late at night? Causing trouble out of nothing.
I let out a soft chuckle. Why would I scold you? Is that really such a big deal in my eyes? The only time someone gets called an immature kid is when they complain about auntie's meals being too healthy. Everything else is fine with me. Though, right, there's one thing I'd actually scold you about.
What?
Albert looked up at me. If you don't finish every bite of this bowl, I'll definitely call you a heartless little troublemaker. I looked straight into Albert's eyes with serious intent. In the next moment, we both laughed at the same time without planning to.
Who do you think you're kidding? I'll finish every bite.
I patted his head again, feeling satisfied. Really, then our Albert sure is quite impressive. Albert was nearly burying his face in the bowl, but I still caught sight of his reddening ears. He was really adorable during meals, when hiding behind the door to eavesdrop on my phone call, and when carefully tiptoeing down the stairs to avoid making noise. After dinner, I noticed the mark on Albert's face hadn't faded yet, so I pulled him onto the sofa to apply ointment. As I was applying it, I let out a muttered complaint without thinking. Who gave such a hard push that must have hurt? I was just talking to myself, but I didn't expect Albert to respond.
Yeah, it hurt.
My heart melted a little, and my tone almost turned into something sweet, like speaking to a child. It's okay. Just rub on the medicine and blow on it. It'll feel better. Albert's grumpy expression finally broke into a smile.
Seriously, I'm not a kid anymore.
That's true enough, but I clearly saw a single tear well up in the corner of his eye. I gently brushed it away. They say a person is most vulnerable not when their body is bare, but in the moment they shed their first tear openly before someone else. At that moment, he was completely open and honest. At that instant, I felt something strange in my heart. I said I wanted to guide Albert, but truthfully, I'm constantly overwhelmed with work. Besides my actual job duties, there are all kinds of dinners and social events. Sometimes, standing in the vast banquet hall, surrounded by countless executives or famous celebrities, I'd feel like a lone figure trapped in a slightly larger cage. I'd sometimes feel like I was all alone, stuck inside a bigger cave. That day, to help Albert broaden his circle of connections, I brought him to a formal dinner event. As soon as we arrived, we were surrounded by people from all sides. I introduced Albert one person at a time, making small talk while keeping up a polite smile. Halfway through the event, I felt my face was about to freeze from all the smiling. Suddenly, Albert suddenly called out in a loud voice.
Wait a minute. I need to go to the restroom.
The people around us were momentarily stunned, then awkwardly stepped aside to clear a path. Then Albert grabbed my hand.
You come with me.
I was frozen in place, pulled through the crowd by him. Halfway through, I realized something was off. You were going to the restroom. Weren't you? This isn't the way. Albert turned around and made a shushing gesture toward me.
Don't say anything. I'm taking you on an escape.
He grabbed my hand and started running, hurrying all the way to the car. It wasn't until we'd driven a good distance away from the banquet hall that he finally asked me.
Where do you want to go?
I shook my head, still feeling dazed.
Then it's up to me to decide.
He pressed the gas pedal and took off, and I only remembered to ask then when we'd reached the seaside. Why did you bring me out here? Albert turned back, the wind ruffling his hair.
Because you're not happy.
Is that so?
Exactly. Your face looks like a sour gourd. Just looking at it makes me want to cringe.
But I haven't even gotten you to see the truth about anyone yet. I complained with a slight frown. Albert gave a mischievous chuckle.
I don't care about seeing through anyone. I just want you to be happy.
You're really a lunatic. You know that. I muttered under my breath, though on the inside I was already relaxing and enjoying the sea breeze. Albert found a spot to sit and patted the space beside him.
Come on, sit here. We've got about 2 hours until sunrise.
I sat down beside him on the sand, listening to the sea breeze. After the dinner and driving here, it was already a Ima. I wasn't as young as Albert, and I was utterly exhausted. Without realizing it, my head leaned against Albert's shoulder. After a brief nap, Albert gently woke me up.
Clark, the sun is rising.
I kept my head resting on his shoulder, just opening my eyes. No matter how many times I've seen it, the sight of sunrise still feels as breathtaking as if for the first time.
Clark, happy birthday.
I turned my head slightly in surprise. Albert was smiling.
What's wrong? Did you forget your own birthday?
It was true, I hadn't celebrated my birthday in years. Each year just means getting older. What's the point of celebrating? Another meaningful year added to your life, congratulations. I thought about it, and honestly, yes, it did feel rich. Why? Just saying it made me feel like life wasn't fading away, but growing fuller instead. I leaned my head back against Albert's shoulder and smiled too. Well, then I guess I should congratulate myself too. Hey, Clark, shouldn't you be thanking me right now? What kind of nonsense is congratulating yourself? Albert, can't you just ease up on the intentions a little? We both ended up laughing like fools. Turning 30 feels pretty great. Actually, it's been a long time since I felt this rebellious. Feeling that way with Albert is really nice too. Coming back to the moment, I remembered Albert's unusual behavior just now. Yesterday, for no clear reason, he suddenly showed up at the company entrance to pick me up. Turns out, a friend I hadn't seen since he got married came by the office looking for me. It was natural to greet each other warmly after such a long time apart. But Albert just had to get upset, standing right beside me and staring intensely at my friend. I finally managed to pull him away and get back into the car. Before leaving, I still had to apologize to my friend. I've already made plans with my younger brother for dinner tonight. Let's catch up another time. When Albert came back, he was with Vincent. He pushed someone's head down as he walked toward me.
Hey, apologize right now.
I was confused and instinctively tried to stop Albert's rough behavior. What's going on? Albert just let go of him first. Albert spat at Vincent, looking a bit angry.
The guy who sent you those odd messages today is this kid. I didn't even give him a beating. I'm being generous.
The person being held grimaced and lifted their head, muttering discontentedly under their breath.
I only said some truth. What's the big deal?
Albert immediately raised his leg to kick him, but I stopped it. Vincent quickly jumped back, reluctantly turning toward me. I'm sorry, Clark. I chuckled and shook my head, thinking the two of them were quite amusing. It's fine. Just a few messages. Albert wasn't happy and shouted at me.
What do you mean, adjust to a few messages? He's been stirring up trouble between us.
I avoided the awkward topic and instead pulled Albert onto the sofa, gently placing my hand against his cheek. Are you drinking a bit too much? Your face is warm. Just sit still. I'll make some herbal tea to help clear your head otherwise. You might feel awful tomorrow. Albert rubbed his cheek against my hand, looking completely satisfied.
Okay, thanks. Clark.
Turning around, I saw Vincent still standing there, looking lonely and helpless. with a hint of defiance, but mostly a pitiful expression. So I pulled him over too. Sit down for a moment and have some drink to help with the hangover before you go. He looked clearly surprised, then sat quietly beside Albert. As I carried the drink out, I heard Albert scolding Vincent.
I'm telling you, my wife is kind-hearted and doesn't hold grudges, so don't make me angry again. If you ever do it once more, I won't hesitate to cut ties with you.
I set the bowl down and gently tapped Albert's head. All right, enough. Why are you calling me Wifeliki? It's real. Albert lifted his head with a stubborn look.
It'll happen one day, do you doubt it?
I didn't argue with someone drunk, so I just signaled them to drink quickly. After finishing the drink, I stood up and walked Vincent out. You have a driver, right? Be careful on your way. I stood at the gate, wrapping my shawl around me as I saw him off. The man about to get in the car paused, hesitated for a moment, then turned back and walked toward me.
I'm sorry. This time it's truly sincere.
I was briefly stunned, then smiled and gave his head a light pat. It's all right. What matters is that you've learned from your mistake. After seeing Vincent off smoothly, I headed inside the house. But as soon as I stepped in, Albert blocked my way.
Why did you touch him just now?
I paused for a moment. I just patted his head. What's wrong? He was visibly agitated.
What's wrong? How dare he let you touch his head like that? I'm your student. I'm the only one who should be allowed to have my head touched by you. And what about that man today? How could he hug you like that?
I said coldly, Albert, this was just normal interaction. Don't you know that? Realizing my resistance, Albert took a small step back. His once wild eyes gradually calmed down.
So you're saying the kindness I show you can also be given to others? Of course. Didn't I teach you before? Don't mistake other people's goodwill for affection, otherwise only you will end up getting hurt.
He furrowed his brow, clearly still struggling to understand. When people can't make sense of something, they often start fidgeting for no reason. That's exactly what Albert was doing now, pulling at his hair one moment, then pressing hard into the palm of his hand the next. I stood still, watching him with near pity in my eyes. Young people always get tangled up over things like this, adorable and sad at the same time. After a while, Albert gently lifted my face with both hands.
Please just pretend I didn't say anything tonight, and that I never asked anything at all. Okay, I promise I won't get jealous over nothing again. Can we go back to how things were before?
I looked at him with gentle affection and went along with his words. If you can fool yourself, then of course we can. Albert's expression turned pale, and he suddenly covered his ears.
I can fool myself.
I took his hand gently and spoke softly. You really are feeling unwell. Go to sleep. Please. He followed me obediently. Lay down quietly, but whispered a quiet complaint as I tucked the blanket around him.
You're really cold-hearted.
I smiled, but didn't reply. Sleep now. Good night. Ignoring him completely, neither responding nor reacting. That's the best way I could think of to step back. The next morning, Albert looked at me with an awkward expression. It was clear he hadn't managed to fool himself about last night's events. I acted as if I didn't notice, and called him to sit down. Have a seat and eat something. Is there anywhere else on your body that still hurts? He said nothing, sitting down with a heavy heart. I scooped the porridge myself and handed it to him. Have some porridge, it might help you feel better. He stared at the bowl for a moment, then pushed it aside, as if making up his mind.
If you're not only being kind to me like this, then don't do these things.
Was he pouting? I reached out and took the bowl back, my tone regretful. All right then. Looks like I'll have to finish this last bowl all by myself. He stared longingly as the porridge was taken away, then lowered his eyes slightly, showing a mix of disappointment and pretended composure. I almost couldn't hold back a laugh. Stood up again, handed the bowl back, and gently ruffled his hair. All right now. Stop being stubborn. Just drink your porridge. If you don't like me touching others casually, I'll do my best to change. The one who was just sulking instantly brightened up, barely holding back a smile.
Really?
Yes, of course. We'll be spending a lot more time together, so we naturally need to understand and accept each other. The moment I finished speaking, Albert slammed his spoon down.
Is that only because you want to get along better in the future?
Yes, what's wrong? Albert clenched his fist and stood up.
Clark, are you messing with me?
I looked at him with a blank expression, appearing genuinely puzzled.
You're really playing me. It's because I'm younger that you deliberately tease me, making me feel all over the place like an idiot. You know perfectly well you know what I mean.
What do you mean, I know? Albert suddenly fell silent, glaring at me with a furious look. I tried to speak up to comfort him, but he didn't give me a chance. He turned sharply and left in anger. Standing there alone, I suddenly felt a slight headache. Oh no. I went too far. I really upset him this time. Thinking about buying a small dessert from the shop downstairs to cheer Albert up. I actually left on time for the first time in ages. But as soon as I reached the company entrance, I let out a helpless sigh. It looks like there's no chance to make things right with Albert today. Because my old friend, whom I just met yesterday, was standing right at the front of my company building.
Clark, you're off work early today. I was about to send you a message.
I smiled and walked toward my friend.
What a coincidence.
Looks like we're still in sync. Let's get going. Sitting together in the restaurant private room, my friend confidently placed the order. He was still the same, knew exactly which dishes I liked without needing to look. Out of nowhere, I suddenly asked, "Does this place have any good desserts?" Jonathan looked at me with mild surprise.
Sometimes they do. But Clark, you don't usually like sweets. Right.
The kid at home really likes them. Jonathan's expression immediately grew distant.
Oh, is that so? Then let's add another dessert.
The server asked,
Which one would you like?
Whatever they have.
realizing his tone had been too distant. Jonathan quickly tried to seem considerate again.
He doesn't have any strong dislikes or special favorites. Does he? Then I'll just let them prepare something at random.
I smiled and nodded in agreement. Jonathan finally relaxed, a warm smile returning to his face.
Are you talking about the kid from yesterday?
I nodded, instinctively reaching for my phone to check if there was a message from Albert. He must really be upset, no message all day. Jonathan kept talking.
Clark, I truly believed you wouldn't get that close to anyone else ever again.
Why would you think that? I replied casually, though inwardly I was wondering whether to send Albert a message first.
Back then, I pursued you for so long and you never said yes. The friend I could never get close to, suddenly someone else is. And honestly, it bothers me a bit.
I finally looked up at him, but his expression was hard to read, whether he was serious or just teasing. I sighed inwardly. It really is true. I'd rather talk with someone like Albert, who's easy to understand, than sit here trying to figure out the mind of an old hand like him. I was young back then and took love seriously. Now that I've aged, my view on it has naturally changed.
So why don't you try getting closer to me again?
I let out a soft laugh, lifting my teacup to hide the hint of sarcasm on my lips. You're already married, impossible.
Divorced. She was too young, I couldn't handle it. Being with you is better, it's less stressful. And there are benefits too.
I looked at him without saying a word. Who Woldvi thought the man who once only cared about sweet love could say something like that? I didn't feel like responding to Jonathan's comment. A wave of irritation rising inside me as I considered dodging the topic. Just then, my phone chimed, saving me from the situation.
Where are you?
Contact Albert's. Seeing that name, I couldn't help but let out a soft sigh of relief.
Having dinner. What's up? With whom are you eating?
That question was tricky, and I paused to think for a moment. Jonathan seized the chance to ask me right away.
Who is it, Clark?
A kid from home. Jonathan let out a sharp laugh, completely dropping the polite mask he'd been wearing. I pretended not to hear and focused on replying to Albert. Having dinner with a friend.
The one from yesterday.
He stated it as a fact, not a question. Any attempt to avoid the truth would just be making excuses. So I simply admitted it.
Yeah, it's him. Want to come over and join us for dinner? I ordered your favorite dessert too. I was going to bring it back for you.
There was a brief silence before he replied.
All right. I'm right next door, coming over now.
He really was nearby. Good thing I didn't try to cover up earlier, otherwise he might have rushed straight here. Jonathan, my kid will be coming over soon. Is that all right with you?
Clark, today
Before Jonathan could refuse, the door swung open with a loud bang. That kind of forceful entry couldn't possibly be from a server. I gave Jonathan a sheepish smile. Sorry about that. Jonathan, he's young and impulsive. Please be patient with him. Jonathan forced a smile, while Albert, who had been loud just moments ago, quietly sat down beside me. The whole table felt like only I was still at ease. I finished the meal in near silence, then got up to wash my hands at the restroom. When I returned, Jonathan's slightly angry voice came through the gap of the half-closed door.
Do you really think you have any right to take him from me?
I stopped in my tracks and furrowed my brow. I don't want to completely cut ties with Jonathan. Now isn't the right time to go in.
Because I'm young. Because I love him. And because I'd do anything for him.
Albert's reply came from inside, and I couldn't help but sigh. It's good that young people have confidence, but their limited experience and self-control make their weaknesses painfully clear. Sure enough, Jonathan let out a soft scoff, clearly showing his disdain for the other person.
Youth will one day fade, and feelings can wear down over time. And as for claiming you'd do anything for him, do you even think he needs that? Albert, Clark is 7 years older than you. Long before you came along, countless people had already gone through great hardship and obsession over him. Some even left everything behind at his word to stay by his side. Yet he didn't accept any of them. Do you really believe you have the right or ability to make Clark play another round in a romantic game? Don't make me laugh. Young man, you'll never be his first. And you can't become his only one.
Jonathan's words were sharp and accurate, exactly what I wanted to say to Albert myself. The room fell silent, and I couldn't help but feel a little annoyed at Jonathan for being so blunt. Albert is young, and his parents rarely pay attention to him. Hearing such sharp words all at once must have hurt him deeply. I let out a sigh and prepared to push the door open. Whether we can stay friends or not is another matter, after all. I've worked hard to help Albert become more balanced. I won't let it all go to waste now. Just as my hand touched the doorknob, Albert's voice came through.
Right. I can't be his first, but I will definitely be his last and the only one. If you don't believe me, we'll just wait and see.
These simple words, spoken one by one, carried an unsettling intensity. I really felt a headache coming on. Was he actually serious? I slowly pulled my hand back from the doorknob, hesitating,
Clark,
just as I was unsure whether to go in. A cheerful voice rang out behind me. I jumped slightly, nearly losing my composed expression. Vincent peeked around from behind me with a playful grin.
sorry. Did I scare you?
I gave a light laugh and shook my head. His eyes, however, quietly scanned me up and down.
Are you eating here too? Clark.
Yeah,
Oh, me too came here with Albert. This kid dragged all of us over just to welcome his long-lost someone back from abroad. And then suddenly vanished himself.
The message was unmistakably clear. I knew he hadn't given up on trying to pull me apart from Albert. What is going on with these young people? They're all so full of tricks. I rubbed my temples tiredly, not expecting him to move closer.
Clark, Albert's heart belongs to someone else. It's really not a good match. But I'm different. I'm young too. Have no rumors. And I listen well.
I stared at him in surprise, finally understanding what he had in mind. Seeing that I didn't object, Vincent boldly grabbed my sleeve.
Can't you choose me instead? Brother,
It was truly unusual. Everything had completely gone off track. Inside, two people were clashing outside. This one was hiding ulterior motives. Is it really the trend this year to be someone like me, almost middle-aged? That was just too absurd.
Vincent, what are you doing?
A voice like music rang out, and Albert appeared at the doorway of the private room. Vincent didn't let go, he pulled even harder.
Albert, I remember you said before that you don't like Clark. If you don't want him, then let me take your place instead. I don't have someone I'm fond of, and I won't run away from our engagement or speak ill of Clark. I'm better suited to stand by his side than you are.
Albert raised an eyebrow, clearly holding back anger. He clenched his fists and quickly moved toward me. Just as he was about to strike Vincent, I finally reached out and stopped him. Hey, Albert, stop playing around. Let's go home. Albert kept staring at Vincent, who returned the glare without hesitation. And Jonathan stood by the doorway, watching the scene with a cold smirk. Hey, Albert, I won't say it a third time. Go home. Albert finally stepped away from the spot and pulled my hand as he walked out. I didn't know where it came from, but a wave of guilt made me allow his closeness. Maybe I should never have approached him with just playful intentions in the first place. Who would have thought I'd be going through this at 30? In the car, Albert stubbornly kept looking out the window, refusing to meet my eyes. I stared at our hands just inches apart on the seat and hesitated for a long time before covering his with mine.
Are you still upset?
The moment I placed my hand on his, I could clearly feel him stiffen for a brief second. He quickly turned and buried his face into my neck.
What would I even be angry about? Clark, today I realized I don't even have the right to be mad at you.
I gently brushed my hand over his head as a gesture of comfort. But I couldn't speak, and I was truly unsure about where we stood with each other. Albert, seeing that I didn't respond, lifted his head and stared at me. Staring like that, he slowly moved closer to me.
If I can't have you, then I'll just belong to you.
Without warning, he leaned in and kissed me. I returned the kiss with a mix of hesitation and acceptance I couldn't fully explain. He burst into tears just a moment later.
I really like you, why?
Tears streamed down his face as he asked himself. Or maybe me. In confusion. I know why, because he's like a love letter left unfinished and tossed into the trash. The person who created him never truly cared for him or gave him attention. But if someone were to pick him up, gently smooth out his crumpled pages, and read the faint words of love hidden within, they'd find the deep, unplaced affection he was born with. But I told him, because you haven't met someone better yet. Once you do, you won't feel this way anymore. All right, I admit it. Maybe in some moment I didn't notice. Or on my birthday, I truly did feel something for Albert. But I know that people in their 20s often fall for someone easily. He's still young, with so many choices left untried, and so much genuine feeling he hasn't given away yet. So I couldn't risk my whole future on something as uncertain as love and feelings. I'm afraid. I'll admit it. But Albert wiped his tears and looked at me, speaking slowly and clearly.
You're the best. I'm certain of that.
I just stared at him, speechless, having seen how others in my circle put gain above all and play games with each other. Facing such honest and open feelings felt overwhelming. Even if I kept lying to myself, my heartbeat couldn't hide from my mind. Anyone of any age has the right to feel that spark, especially in my eyes. I never expected that my well-meaning words wouldn't push him away, but instead sparked an endless sense of competition within him. After that day, every time I met his gaze, all I saw was eagerness and determination in his eyes. And from that moment on, he stayed by my side to an extreme degree. Not only was Vincent kept at bay, but even Jonathan couldn't get close to me while Albert was around. To put it bluntly, he was acting like a watchful guard dog that had grown increasingly protective and overly attentive. The result of him constantly staying by my side eventually led to a dinner party where a friend smiled warmly at Albert before commenting to me.
Albert's clearly been shaped by you.
I glanced over at Albert, who now carried a quiet sense of composure, and smiled, though with an unintentional hint of pride. Outwardly, he's definitely changed, but you don't know he's still quite childish at heart. My friend laughed even more, eyes full of teasing as they looked at me.
Clark, you're really smitten.
I shook my head helplessly and took a quiet sip of wine without speaking.
What are you two talking about?
Albert stepped up beside me and smoothly took the drink from my hand.
Why are you starting to drink again?
Why can't I, Clark? How come you're living under someone else's strict rules now?
My friend jumped in with a playful tease. Albert looked serious and answered thoughtfully.
He's been having stomach issues lately. Can't drink.
Oh, I thought you two were preparing to start a family and had to avoid alcohol altogether.
My friend drew out his voice, teasing us both. Albert's face turned red, unintentionally showing a touch of youthful innocence. It had been so long since I'd seen him like this, cute and endearing, and without thinking, I joined my friend in playfully teasing him. What kind of pregnancy? I'm not even a girl. Hey, by the way, did you know that back then, Albert was obsessed with only being with girls. He even had a so-called lgbtqlove. Before I could finish speaking, Albert grabbed my sleeve and leaned in close to stop me from going further.
I already said it was all made up. Just a way to rebel against my parents.
I laughed at his childish reaction, but suddenly heard my friend speak.
Speaking of moonlight love, Clark, I actually heard lately that your first love has come to our town. The foreigner who left everything behind and came here with you. Remember, you even cried to me back then, saying that was your moonlight love.
I remembered it well, but is it really okay to bring this up in front of Albert right now? I didn't dare glance at Albert's expression, instead giving my friend a look full of quiet annoyance. My friend chuckled quietly and mouthed something to me.
It's fine, jealousy can actually strengthen a couple's bond. No need to thank me.
Of course, a little jealousy helps build closeness, but the truth is, ever since that awkward situation days ago, Albert has been deeply unsettled by anything like this. If he gets too worked up, it won't end well. On the way home, Albert slipped back into his old habit, staring out the window instead of at me. This time, I gently tugged at his sleeve. "Are you still upset?" He quickly pulled his sleeve away without responding. I patiently tried reaching for his hand again. "Don't be mad. I've had no connection with him for a long time."
So why did he come here?
Maybe he just came for a visit.
Of all the places, why would he choose one with such a passionate past?
Albert pulled his hand away sharply again, clearly sending one message. "Don't touch me." I pretended to go along with what he said. True. Why would he end up here specifically? Maybe I should call and ask him. I pretended to pull out my phone to dial, only for Albert to snatch it from me.
You're lying. You said you'd cut all ties with him.
He finally faced me head-on, and I gently held his face before kissing his cheek. No lies. The call was just a joke. How else could you ignore me like that? He wasn't the same Albert who used to lose himself over small kindnesses, even though his expression had softened. He still wouldn't give in.
Clark, you always play with my feelings. That's really unfair.
Going too far again. So do you still want this troublemaker to try another kiss?
Yes.
Albert leaned in, but didn't make the first move. I gently kissed his cheek, following his quiet signal. After that, he turned the other side of his face toward me.
Want this one too?
I smiled and kissed it. Out of nowhere, a friend's words came back to me. I let out a soft sigh, thinking how I still ended up following the usual pattern in the end. Albert heard my sigh and suddenly kissed me back.
Why sighing? I'm not mad anymore. Okay, no more of that. I won't let you lose patience with me.
I gently rubbed his jawline and answered in a soft voice. I haven't lost patience with you. You're so sweet, how could I ever be impatient? Albert pulled me into a hug.
Really, but I'm still so afraid. You always have this way of stirring my emotions up and down. And yet I can't even hear you say I like you. You always see through what I'm trying to test for. Yet I still don't know if you've ever truly felt anything for me. Clark, sometimes I wonder, could you be treating someone else this way when I'm not around?
I gently comforted him. No, never impatient. Never as kind to anyone else as I am to you. Being good to you has long become a privilege reserved for lovers. Albert's eyes lit up instantly.
What you said I'm your what? Can you say it again?
I smiled and said, I only treat my lover this way. Before I could finish, Albert leaned in eagerly and kissed me.
You said it, no taking it back. Clark, you're stuck with me now.
Why run away after all? I've already been fully aware and quietly allowing this for so long. Haven't I? Side story, Albert. I've never been a good person, I know that. I speak harshly and act recklessly. I've always centered everything around myself. My parents must have been so stressed by my attitude over the years. When they tried to set me up with some high society girl, I said I only liked girls from ordinary families. When they wanted me to study under someone else, I called that person an old fool. But I've always used my youth as an excuse and refused to change. Stubborn, reckless, childish, impulsive. I lived in a world where everyone had to follow my every glance. Then Clark appeared. The first time we met, he caught me making a face at him. To be honest, I didn't feel the slightest bit guilty at the time. I just thought, why does this man look so fragile, like a single sharp word might knock him down? So I didn't say anything more. I stayed silent when my parents brought up being friendly with him. I couldn't risk hurting his feelings. Not if it meant I'd have to carry that burden. But later, I inevitably fell headfirst into the gentle sea named Clark. And for the first time, I truly learned what fear meant. He cared about me, protected me, let me be free, spoiled me, and even comforted me when I was upset. But I didn't know if he'd ever treated anyone else this way, before or now. And how did he become such a kind person? Who was it that helped shape him over time? I had no idea. What could I possibly do to truly be his one and only? I didn't know. Jonathan was right. I couldn't give Clark anything he hadn't already been given.
Finishing this story left me with such a warm, fluttering feeling in my chest. I went in expecting a light-hearted age gap romance between a mature, gentle beta and a fiery young alpha. But what I got was so much deeper. Clark completely stole my heart. Watching this careful, responsible man slowly lower his walls, learning to accept love instead of always giving it. It felt so real, so human. And Pate, that stubborn, possessive, surprisingly vulnerable boy. Oh my God, his growth from calling him old thing to fiercely declaring he would be his last and only. It was equal parts adorable, intense, and heartbreakingly sweet. I loved how the story never rushed their feelings. It showed the hesitation, the fear of getting hurt, the jealousy, the playful teasing, and most beautifully, how genuine care can heal someone and make even the most guarded heart believe again. It reminded me that love doesn't care about age, status, or how sensible you think you should be. Sometimes the person who seems least likely ends up being exactly what you needed. If this story touched you the way it touched me, if you smiled at their bickering, felt the tension in every almost kiss, or teared up at those quiet, caring moments, please tell me in the comments. Share your favorite scene, who you related to more, or which moment made your heart race the most. I really want to hear your thoughts and feelings. And if you enjoyed this, please hit subscribe and turn on notifications. I'll be bringing more beautiful stories like this in the future. Thank you so much for watching. Let's keep feeling these stories together.